Welcome back, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to another wonderful episode of The Fall of New Vesara. I am your humble Dungeon Master, Tyson Fraleigh, but you're not here for me. You're here for our wonderful, illustrious players. To start off, first up, this guy is like sunshine in a bottle. It is Takeshi Fukushima.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry. For the audience listening at home, it took us a solid, 4 hours to get here. We're all doing great.
True. Next up, with a cool breeze and slightly cloudy weather that's slowly turning all of the leaves vibrant and beautiful colors, this player will slowly kill all your crops, but make the world a much more beautiful place. It is Hannah Halcro.
Yes, a lovely harvest moon. That's me.
Next up, unlike the previous player that will slowly kill all of your hard work that you've had out in your back garden, this player will be able to whisper sweet nothings to the crops you have living outside in your garden and really bolster their spirits as they slowly grow through spring. It is Liz Nyveen.
It's me, I'm a bolsterer. My bowls are stirred.
And finally, our final player is the psychosis that you develop as winter holds and you start to go a little bit more stir crazy. It is Adam Honigman.
We had half an inch of snow. Canada posted my copy of Pokemon out for delivery at 8 a.m. and then by 4 p.m. they said, "No, we didn't do any deliveries today." What happened? 9 hours. I'm so sorry it snowed in Montreal. That's so hard for you, Canada Post. I'm so sorry.
Oh, what woe it is. Let's get into a little bit of a recap. Last time on The Fall of New Vesara, the party got out of some shenanigans. You guys were assaulted and kind of assaulted what seemed to be two guards on the part of a subsidiary location of Verdant Industries. After a back and forth with these guards, which sadly left Barb unconscious, after you guys determined you're gonna fight them. No, you're not gonna fight them. You're gonna run. Are we gonna run? You then gaslit the secretary into thinking that he was going nuts, and attempted to lie to some police officers. However, in the chaos of the situation, you were able to get Barb back on her feet, leave the building with your lives and without being captured by the local constabulary, leading back to Barb's apartment. There you were all able to rest up as Barb was welcomed by a vision of her 3 late husbands, all of which who seemed to be somewhat confused about their presence, but have promised to work together in order to figure out what's going on and to help Barb in the coming days. But warned of a distant storm brewing from the outside of their vision. As this rest completes, that is where we left off. What would people like to do?
Alright, so if some of us go in, those who know how to touch doohickeys in the way that they like to be touched, anyone not touching a doohickey should also be there because shit is bound to go sideways.
What are the omens we have? So we know how to kill these things. We have the floor layout.
We need to know how to get out also before we go in, because that was an issue last time.
So we don't necessarily have a way to get into the vault itself, because we need to get into a vault, not just the building. But I don't mind just going, walk in until someone stops you.
Yeah, just figuring it out.
That's Gilly's only plan.
That is Gilly's way.
And if we can find a way to disable the birds, once we get in, posing as Verdant Industries or whatever, it'll be a lot easier to get into the vault.
It's true. We're like, oh no, the security system's off. We gotta figure out how to fix it. Oh no, I think the control is in the vault.
Oh yeah, sorry, we've got to do a bigger system reset.
So we go con them, and then that night we sneak in?
I mean, okay, well, we could try conning them, and then if that doesn't work, we just go in anyway.
Just go in.
It's just, conning them ahead of time will, make it so that we don't potentially get captured as much. Because we can just turn them off before they're trying to get us,
Alright, So we pose as Verdant Industries. We get in. We find a way to disable the birds. I honestly, personally think that probably best if we just try to do the heist right then and there. You know, don't give them time to look into anything that we did with their security systems or look into our bona fides. We get into the vault. We find the finger. We get out. Bob's your uncle.
We go back to Verdant Industries. We use the keys to raid their supply closet.
Yes. Let's do it right now. Let's go.
Asking, I pull like a bloody serviceman uniform and I hand it off.
Like a bellhop, or like a veteran.
Like a service worker, not like a soldier.
A janitor.
Are we all working for Verdant Industries, or?
Well, I can, you know, I can be like your supervisor, and so I'm wearing like my regular clothes. Yes, I'm a very good, you know, supervisor.
Oh, can you?
I fit the archetype.
I take sort of like a piece of cloth, I take a marker and I write hazmat on it and I just slap it onto my armor.
That'll do.
What does hazmat stand for? Hazardous chick? Magic with a T?
Well, Barb, I've got a spare set of clothes. Do you want to also be a supervisor?
Why do we have two supervisors?
Why are there two supervisors? I don't know. I think I could look. I think if Gilly wears the jumpsuit thing and I just wear like my normal barkeep clothing, I just probably look blue collar enough to make this convincing.
Sure, I'll wear the thing, the blood uniform, but it'll go on top of my jingle suit because I need that.
Do you want me to try and clean that for you?
You know, probably. Could we pass this off as oil? As magic oil?
As magic rust-colored oil. I've got this soap.
Oh god, the soap! I forgot! Sending stone for her.
Yeah, I would like to remove the bloodstains.
Make this intelligence plus proficiency.
So, +0 for me. Would it not be wisdom because of...
You make it wisdom.
Yes, okay. Sorry, that's a +3 instead, so thank you. Oh, okay, 15.
Barb is very good at doing laundry, and you're able to get him out the blood pretty good. At which point, after finishing up cleaning the blood out of the serviceman's outfit, all of you are able to head out of Barb's apartment and make your way towards the Magnus ward. You arrive at the large circular building of the Museum of Esoteric Histories. You stand in front, you can see people beginning to walk in and out, tourists and locals alike. What would you like to do?
Alright, so I suppose just follow my lead.
Chins up, lads.
Which point you enter inside. You see the hardwood floors, the numerous plant growth kind of spread all across the walls, a number of, what are those? Pothos vines that kind of spring and spread across the place. The two wide staircases that head upstairs, the numerous different separate rooms that lead into different exhibits, as well as probably at somewhere in these rooms leading further down into the structure itself. However, you see that there is the ticket takers at the front that are set up kind of just behind a simple booth with an iron, series of bars in front. As you can see that they are standing there just a line in front, preparing for you to arrive. At which point the people up front spread as they begin to head deeper into the actual museum. You can see the two attendants who are standing there, they just seem to be kind of just in conversation with each other as they wait for more people to approach.
You had mentioned there had been a line, or has that since gone through?
The line for the most part has dispersed.
Okay.
I say we just walk in. real people that have, like, appointments to be here because they're working here wouldn't wait in the ticket line or, like, be in the ticket section. You know, we would just go in.
Yeah, I would probably do that. I would just, like, walk with great confidence right into the museum.
Okay. Make a performance check.
Do we provide any sort of aid on this?
Does
or-
having a posse help?
I would grant you advantage for that.
21.
21. The four of you strut on past the ticket attendants. You see they look at you, look you up and down real quick, and then just continue on with their conversation.
I will look around. Do I get a sense of where... Is there any signage of, like, employees only, or, you know, no crossing this area? Anything that would look like a section of the museum where, like, the atonicasms and their associated machinery would be kept?
You actually don't have to look that far. In the space around you, you can see that on the far end of the room is this set of two basically ivory white staircases that go upwards. Off to the right and to the left, there are two passageways that lead into a series of exhibits onto the left and to the right. And actually just tucked into a corner is a large glass cylindrical tube with a number of etchings in gold that you see the about 9 foot tall Otonicasm standing in. Just still, door closed in front of it.
So there's just one of these tubes?
Currently, yes.
Alright, I will go up to the tube.
Okay. You approach. You see the raven-skulled, hulking figure just looking down towards you.
I'll whisper to whoever's closest to me, Barb, do you think you can make heads or tails of taking out the central nervous system of this thing?
Oh, it's just some kind of writing on the back of the neck, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's like right in the middle of the spine.
Alright, someone get me a ladder. Do we have a ladder?
I sigh and I like get down on one knee and I kind of motion my shoulder down.
That I actually laugh like that. As I climb onto your shoulder. Yeah, no, we definitely should have gotten a ladder, because people will let you in anywhere if you have a ladder. And a high-vis vest, you're good to go. And a clipboard. Did we at least get a clipboard for Regina?
Freddie Wong once said if you want to get backstage in any venue, you just wrap an Ethernet cable around your arm and just look worried. It'll get you anywhere.
That is exactly what we were doing right now. So, yeah, so like, Gilly, if you could look like you're holding some kind of tool, or like you're about to help me, or something.
Sure, I'll go around to the back of the tube and brace my hands on it in a engineering type fashion.
Can I? So does the tube have a top? Like there's a barrier between us and the thing.
The tube goes from its current, like, basically from floor to ceiling.
So we cannot reach it at all.
Mm-hmm. There does seem to be like a door hatch set on the front of it that would seemingly be available. You're not certain of the circumstances.
There's no like service access point.
I'll say for Barb, make an Arcana check.
An Arcana check. Okay. 12.
12. You're looking across it. You're not seeing anything at first, and as you're kind of like, you're like leaning up against it to see like if there's any like hinges or anything. Then you kind of wave your hand down, and you notice that like as you wave your hand down the side of it, a slight projection of what looks to be like a keypad appears on the side.
Damn it.
Is it 8008?
You want to try that?
Yes.
8008. Nothing happens.
Is there an enter key that I have to hit?
There is an enter key.
I hit enter.
You tap it. it just flashes red for a second and then goes back to normal.
Ugh. They gave us the wrong passcodes again. I grumble.
Oh, I have an idea. I would like to druid craft a, like some sort of flower, in my hand. And I would like to blow on it and try to blow the pollen onto the keypad so I might be able to discern, like, where most of the fingerprints are on which buttons.
Oh, very clever. I'm gonna say for this, make a charisma ability check.
That'll be a 23.
Whoo! Shit. Yeah, you summon the flower. As the pollen spreads onto the keypad, you see that the most. I'm gonna roll for the person who made the security system. Just like any other like major company at a certain point, the people who make the passwords usually choose the worst options. Roll for ineptitude. It seems to be a 4-character pin. And the numbers that you see that have been like touched the most are 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
All right, I can try 1, 2, 3, 4.
You hit enter, it flashes red.
Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Flashes green as what is it? The front panel opens.
Okay, on the front, so not near the back.
Yes. You also watch as the Atonachasm crouches and steps out, and then goes back into its shrunken form.
Oh, okay, good. It does what we like. Great. Okay, so now shrunken form. How tall is that? Do I still need a boost?
Oh, it's still like 7 feet tall.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So back up on Lance's shoulder.
Are you controlling me like Ratatouille almost?
I need you to be as still as possible so I don't lose my balance. Yeah, I furrow my brow and like I go to take something out of my pocket. There's nothing there, but it's like, oh yes, no, this is a very difficult job. Okay, I think we need to calibrate it in this way. And then I just rub off the metal, or is it in metal? Like what is it?
Oh, the glyphs?
Yeah, the glyphs.
Yeah, it seems that the glyphs are branded into the actual metal.
Okay, I mean, that's a surface finish job, so if I just sand it down, cool. I take my, like, my dish...
Sandpaper?
No, because, like, the thing that you use to clean dishes, like, the scrubber pad, fun aside, the, like, you know, not the steel wool, but, like, the plastic pad, the, like, abrasive pads, we use those in the machine shop. It's called Scotch-Brite. It's for, like, polishing metal. It's the same shit. Or basically the same shit. But,
Do you have steel wool on you?
yeah, I mean, like, I have a kitchen knife on me. I feel like I have something abrasive other than my personality on me at this moment. I think it'd be funny if I carried around, like, a dish supplies. Or, like, a brush, like a coarse-haired brush or something. Because if something's, like, branded into the metal, that's, like, it's the surface finish that's been deformed. So if you just scratch off that layer, you should be good. I take out my standard issue old lady steel-haired brush and scratch off rub away at the glyphs on the back of this thing's neck.
Okay, I'll say make a Arcana check to hit the right glyphs to knock this thing out. Also, what is everyone's passive perception?
13.
13.
12.
11.
Not particularly hard to see for Regina. You do notice that there seems to be a small gnomish gentleman, long white gray beard, seems to be like dressed up in like a browning green like 3-piece suit, gold pocket watch, and like just like a round section of gray white hair up top, one monocle that seems to like have like a number of what is it, like extending eyepieces that seems to magnify. Seems to be like busybody approaching the group from one of the other exhibits.
I am going to signal to Gilly, just sort of like direct his attention towards the oncomer, and then I am going to hover just like a couple inches off the ground, but like enough so that I am now taller than him, than the gnomish individual, and go to meet him on his warpath.
I'll come along to screen his view of them, I guess.
Okay. To start off, so Barb, make your Arcana check first, and then we'll come back to you two.
Okay, 15.
15. You are currently scrubbing your heart out. You've looked across the glyphs across the spine, and you think you found the right one, and are just beginning to coarsely rub.
Routine maintenance, it's just inspecting this, cleaning it up.
For Regina and for Gilly, the two of you approach as the gnomish individual. What is exactly going on over here? I do not know where this accent went, but we are here now.
God, I need to remember what my accent is now. My apologies, who might you be?
I'm Mr. Fulcrane. I'm one of the premier exhibitors here, and I notice you're playing with one of the tall boys.
Oh, simple, maintenance, Mr. Fulcrane. Nothing to worry about.
You know, it is a strange business, all of these giant things. I've been told to keep a lookout along with the other exhibitors and such, to keep an eye on them, and I'm not exactly sure what the four of you are doing over here.
Well, we're representatives from Verdant Industries, the partner who provided the atonicasms to this wonderful facility. We're simply coming by periodically to ensure that everything is running as best it can. Especially in these early phases, it's best to be able to nip any technical issues in the bud, as they say.
Make a deception check.
Natural 20.
Woo! Mr. Fulcran looks at you, looks over towards Gilly, looks over towards Barb on top of so many names, Lance's shoulders, just scrubbing, leans back a little bit. Well, do you require assistance with the other vessels? The other one of these things?
I think we should be able to manage quite well on our own, but I do appreciate the offer, Mr. Fulcran. I'd hate to take you away from your very important work.
No. I'm always around to help the best I can. But just try to keep it down. It affects the ambiance if you're, breaking the illusion. You see what I'm saying?
We'll be sure to do our best not to disturb the patrons.
Good. All right, work. And just turns around and just begins to walk back towards the initial exhibit.
Whew.
Which point, for Barb, you are scratching, as you suddenly feel the atonachasm slump slightly.
Yes! Hehe. And we gotta get it back. It stepped out of the tube, right?
How far is it from the tube? Can we just, shove it?
Yep, it's maybe 2 feet.
Okay. If we, lift it gently and place it.
Well, I was just gonna say, between Barb, Lance, and Gilly, the three of you, very painfully so, begin to move this slowly, one leg back at a time, just swinging it in before you're able to get it back into its appropriate section.
Yeah, I dust my hands of this work, and well, all right. Where's the next one?
Where did Mr. Thunderkin say that the finger was located? Wasn't it down below?
Mm-hmm. Which we can't really get into I think the more of these things we can take out, the better.
Right, but if we get caught on floor 2 and we want to be on sub-level 2...
I'm thinking for escape, like, the fewer of these things that are active, the better, but you're right.
As long as we don't trigger them, we don't need to be worried about them descending upon us.
We are absolutely going to trigger them.
If we come across any, then we shall disable them, but otherwise, I believe we should just continue with our adventure here.
Roughly how long did it take me to scratch out the glyph?
Maybe like a minute and a half.
Okay, so like 15 rounds of combat. Maybe I could get it down to 10 if I like really go at it. So there's no taking these things out this way in a fight that doesn't last forever. So,
Well, we can always just like we don't have to be gentle about it.
Are there any doors that are painted to look like part of the walls so people don't try and open them in here?
You don't see any that have been like directly painted. There is on one far side of the wall where the pathos has continued to grow. There you can see what looks to be like a blocked off path, like basically just kind of like a path with one of those like the fancy ribbons that are used in movie theaters. Basically just a small robed barrier set in front. And beside that, you do also see the teleporter that you guys did here that can get you to the different floors.
I think that's a good idea. Shall we teleport or take the old-fashioned route?
I'm definitely taking the stairs.
All right.
You guys head over, unlatch the guarded section, as you guys just see a set of stone stairs heading down. Descending, you guys travel down one section, hit a small stone landing before traveling down further. As you're heading down the second set of stairs, you can see that there looks to be a probably younger halfling, maybe around 15, 16, wearing one of the ticket taker like outfits. Not one of the ones that you saw upon entry, but seems to just be rushing and bounding up the stairs. Doesn't say anything or look at all past you, just runs up past you and vanishes around the corner.
Maybe the line's on fire.
maybe they noticed that the guy's offline. Where did he run from? Or where did they run from?
Just down on the basement first level where you guys are going.
We can, if there is like a control room, maybe, like, if assuming that person looked worried because, oh no, one of my fancy new robots is offline, which is a stretch, like, we don't know. Maybe if there is a control room, that's where they were coming from.
You guys descend. You arrive in a stone hallway that you can see. There's a door to the left, a door to the right, and the hallway continues at a T-junction, maybe 30 feet ahead. On the left-hand door, there is... This would be just noted as employee check-in. On the right-hand side, it would be secretary.
I say we just keep going.
The four of you continue walking down the hallway as there is a... basically, you turn left, and it just goes into just nothing. It's just a stone flat wall. Was it probably maybe like 15 feet down? Seems to just border this room. Seems to border the like employee check-in location. Going to the right, you see it is a long hallway that seems to go down maybe 100 feet. There is a pathway to the left, and there's a series of doors on the right-hand side. On these doors, you get archives, office of Mr. Fulcrane office. There is one that is M. Daska. There's also one that says Miss Turnball. There is also one at the very end of the hallway that is marked storage. The passageway off to the left-hand side at the end of this hallway seems to lead into two more doors, one on the left, one on the right.
Is it locked?
Which one?
Storage.
Storage? It is locked.
Is there a keypad?
There is not. It seems to be a simple lock.
Okay, I'll attempt to get in there.
Roll for dex.
It's going to be 22.
With grace, you just stick them in. Just flick, twist. It's open.
Fuck. Alright.
You open the door. There are 3 rows of basically just storage shelving units that go on in multiple sections here. You can see that predominantly what is in this room currently is in the far right-hand corner. There's what looks to be some sort of workbench, and there's just a shit ton of boxes. Just huge boxes that have mostly been broken open and are in the process of being disassembled. You also see that there's a number of... it basically seems like closer to like a utility closet. In here there are different... we'll actually make... anyone who's proficient with investigation can make an investigation check if they'd like to see what's in here. If they find anything funky.
4.
That will be an 18 for me.
Regina, there's some sections that are mostly just like, oh, this is where they keep like toilet paper and like hand cloths and like disposable items. That seems to be the first row. Getting into the second row, however, it starts to get into things like repair kits. They do have what look to be a few enchantment kits. They seem to have a few different artistic kits. And one thing that you do find a little interesting is that they do have at one kind of end, it's broken down for the most part. It's mostly just like individual pieces, but they've got what looks to be like mostly a constructed forgery kit. You also find a bunch of like office related items, like pens, access to pencils, being able for like notebooks, pieces of paper, that sort of stuff, all unused.
Yeah, I will grab a clipboard. I would like to take a look at the forgery kit they have. Is there anything on it, like visibly, that would tie it to the museum? Like property of, etc.
I'll say make an intelligence check with proficiency, because I believe that you have proficiency with forgery kits, correct?
I do, yes.
Then I'll say, make it with proficiency.
15. 15.
On this forgery kit, has a lot to do with like paintbrushes with certain calligraphy sets. It seems pretty wildly in disarray at this point. The paintbrushes seem to have gotten the most use, and they seem to mostly... They're covered in a bunch of different paints, but typically they're covered in blacks, greens. There seems to be some browns in there, but you're not entirely sure if it's just from mixing. It potentially looks like this was used to paint a lot of things. The calligraphy part of the tools, as well as the ink bottle, seems to be gone.
Yeah, I will grab that paintbrush and I will put it. One of my starting items is a chest, so I will put it in my chest.
Does it have straps?
It's a little chest. It's like one of those little chests.
It's like a clutch.
Well, do you mean like a literal chest, or like the metaphorical, like putting it in your chest?
I mean, that's funny, but I don't think Wizards of the Coast meant that when they listed chest amongst my starting items. Yeah, I think it's funny if it's like a little clutch.
It's got like one of those like sparkly wrist straps on it.
God, yeah.
I'm stealing pens. And also I want to look at the workbench to see if there's anything that would, no offense, would be more effective at scratching these off than a scrub brush.
Very interesting. There are basic construction tools here. So there is a file. There are some, some like sandpaper. You do also notice, very fitting for you, is that there is metal polish and there is a metal file. As you can see that on the workbench as well, there seems to be like written instructions as well as schematics for it looks like installing and putting together these atonochasms and the actual tubes themselves.
All right, we should definitely take those with us because they make us look way more legit, and then also we now have the instruction manual.
Yeah, we'll put the map on Regina's clipboard, I guess. I add some extra loose leaf paper on the bottom to make it look bigger and more official.
I want to be holding a schematic and like in a roll under my arm.
Do they have any hard hats here?
No hard hats in here. However, with ease, you guys do find that there is a room that has a tag maintenance.
Is there another room there that we also haven't heard the name of yet?
Yes, it is a door on the to the left. It is marked as lounge. You get the sense, the door is open, and you can hear what sounds like people eating on the inside.
I'm gonna close the door to the lounge before we start picking the lock to the door right next to it.
Easily done for the both of you. As Regina, you shut the door fully to the lounge. As Lance, once again, look at it. Door opens. Basically the equivalent of a small broom closet. However, has a lot of useful stuff in here. You can see there's mops, brooms, a small ladder, hard hats, be careful, floor wet signs, like different styles of duct tape, electrical tape. No, this would be pretty visible for all of you, especially for Lance. You would see on one top shelf what looks to be a thin rod, maybe about 2 feet long. Seems to have almost like a metallic tip to it.
I inspect.
You pick it up. Feels like a wand.
Now, when you say wand, like, are we talking like magical prowess type of wand, or is it just like?
You're seeing engravings across it.
Should I bother to do some sort of like history or arcana check, or can I just assume that it's just like a standard? Is it just like a standard grade wand?
Make an arcana check.
Ooh, that's gonna be a 3.
3. It's a fancy stick.
It'll either come in use on the battlefield or come in use in the shops, so I pocket it.
Okay. Aside from that, you have pretty much all of your cleaning needs in here.
I take anything that might be useful and then also like makes us look more legit. Like tape, anything that like clips onto a belt, the ladder for sure.
You look pretty loaded down there, Barb.
Well, I can't carry the ladder. I think someone else has to carry the ladder.
I sigh and I throw it on my back.
All right, you have your items. Where to next?
Were there any? Did there seem to be any other passageways?
No.
Perhaps the archives then?
There was one that was a dead end, right?
Yeah, what if it's like a hidden door or something?
Worth checking out.
I'm gonna take a floor wet sign.
You travel around. As you can see from one of the rooms, you can see that a very frazzled, what looks to be 20-year-old elvish woman, brown hair in a tight bun that's like frizzy all over the place. Immediately seeing from her clothes are disheveled, wrinkled, her eyes are bloodshot, steps out from an office, turns over towards you all, and then just keeps her head down and doesn't look at you as trails around the side towards the lounge.
Does she seem suspicious?
Make an insight check.
6.
6. Hard to tell. She looks tired and frazzled.
I have a passive insight of 15. Would I discern anything from her?
Sure. I'll have check here. You're getting the sense that she has, like, something's really weighing down on her. You're not entirely sure what, but she seems, when she walks away from you, it seems that she's just the type of person who doesn't like attention in general. But there's definitely something that's, like, over-aggravating her.
Excuse me, miss.
See, she freezes. Yes?
Sorry to bother you. We're just looking around. We've got a couple of locations that we're having a bit of difficulty finding. You do work here, I presume.
I'm one of the archivists, yes.
Oh, wonderful. Well, actually, the archives was one of the places that we were having a bit of trouble finding. We were also looking for the vault, as well as the most recent exhibit on... Oh, Lord, I can't even read my own handwriting. What's your most recent exhibit as well? Those three places, couple others, but I'm sure we'll figure the rest out.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah. 23.
23, damn. You see she just rubs her forehead. So the archive is just down the hall. It's easy, you can get in fine. The newest exhibit is probably on the 3rd floor. Pre-Fallen era, it's going to get a lot of buzz, if that's the one that you're probably looking for. Sorry, what was the other one you wanted to know?
It just says vault here.
You might want to speak to Daska about that. I can tell you it points to the 15-foot hall that you guys were walking towards. I can tell you it's there. I don't know much more than that.
Much obliged, miss. Do take care of yourself. You seem rather, dare I say, down on your luck.
Thanks. Yeah. It's, yeah, it's been a little bit.
How old does she seem to be?
Probably late 20s.
No, I understand. I was burning the candle at both ends when I was your age as well. But listen, you can't forget to take care of yourself, and I'll flip her a gold piece. Go out, have a drink after work on me.
She takes it out of the air. Sure. Thanks. Pockets. Have yourself a good rest of your days, I guess. She turns and heads towards the lounge.
I don't know if it's just our group, but I love how whenever somebody needs to be paid, the coins are always flipped. They're never just handed or put down gently. They're always flipped and caught out of the air.
It's the universal sign for, like, the end of a conversation.
Alright, so apparently we need to ask Staska individual.
Are we prepped to talk to someone who might know, like, that no one is supposed to be doing maintenance right now?
Well, we don't have to specifically talk to her, depending on whether or not she's in her office.
I knock at the D door.
Ding, ding, ding. Enter.
Okay. Here I go.
Door swings open as you see a very beautiful looking office. Basically just filled with books. Books on ancient history, pre-fallen history, post-fallen history for New Vesara. Books on architecture. Like, it's just a whole range. Like, there's books on science, there's books on history, there's books on religion, there's books on architecture. Like, basically anything that could be studied, there's probably something touching on it in here. At the center desk, kind of piled high with paperwork and such, you can see that there is a what looks to be a long blue-haired merfolk figure. Very vibrant green eyes, numerous sets of kind of like jewelry that runs from the ear to like collars around the neck, different necklace pieces, very ostentatious in dress, mixed in with this very business formal attire. Jacket off, kind of flipping through a book, kind of looks up towards you all.
We got a maintenance request.
From who?
I don't know, I just go where they tell me. Something wrong with your office? Is it leaking? I start looking around the office and poking at things.
Make a deception check.
Oh, thank God. 21.
21. Looks, ignores you and looks to the back with the other three. I'm sorry, can I be of assistance to any of you?
Yes, rather. We're from Verdant Industries. We've been sent here to take a look at a couple of faculties here at the museum while our Taunicasms are being set up. One of them is, quite frankly, management only told us it was called the Vault. One of your employees mentioned that you might be the person to ask to try and find it. I'm afraid we were rather dreadfully turned around in here.
I suppose I would be the one to ask, but I don't remember sending a request.
Listen, as my compatriot said, we're just the hand that, actually acts out what management tells us to do. We don't actually understand any of the business behind it. If you didn't send it, then perhaps one of your colleagues did, or perhaps one of their colleagues, or perhaps it was just a clerical error. But in any case, we're here now, and better to be safe than sorry. Make sure all our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed.
Make another deception check.
That is a 15.
They kind of look you up and down, look towards Gilly. Well, I can promise you have no need for the vault. That's not going to be your issue to have to bear burden to. There was no installation there. But feel free to explore any of the other floors of the building. There are a number that are there, and I'm certain you can take a look and look after.
Well, all due respect, Ms. Professor, Doctor...
Let's keep honorifics off the table. How about, just call me Darian.
Well, Darian, with all due respect to you, it's all well and good for you to tell us that we don't need to worry about the vault, but, whether or not we're paid, whether or not we get good reports come our next HR inspection really depends on us checking all the boxes that upper management places for us, and one of the boxes that they had placed for us is to determine whether or not security on the vault is up to snuff.
Well, I most appreciate that, but as the curator for the building, I can assure you that the reviews that your higher-ups give will be very much dependent on my report. What company are you working for again?
Verdant Industries, Darian.
Well, to be quite honest, I'm not exactly familiar with your company. I left that more to Angus, but I can say for certain we did not hire Verdant for that particular project. Make a persuasion check.
23.
Well, we didn't have Verdant Industries take on that particular project. However, there's nothing wrong with getting a second opinion, I suppose. If you wish to take a look, just follow after me. Stands up from their desk. Darian steps from the room and begins to head down the hallway. With all of you following, as you approach that 15-foot hallway, you get within about 5 feet of the end as you watch as the far wall shimmers slightly. As you can see a long series of verses set up on the wall. It reads, "I'm new and I'm old. I'm often in tatters and often bedecked with gold. Though I never could read, yet lettered I'm found. Though blind I enlighten, though loose I am bound. I'm always in black and I'm always in white. I'm grave and I'm gay, I'm heavy and light. In form too I differ, I'm thick and I'm thin. I've no flesh and bones, yet I'm covered with skin." As Darian in Elvish, Gilly, says, "Book." As the door seems to shimmer and dissolve, leading to another set of stairs going down.
I'm so impressed with how well this is working so far.
You guys are rolling high.
Don't jinx it. Someone needs to spot the finger or it's all over for us.
Yeah, we need to find this without looking like we're finding it.
As you approach the bottom of the stairs, you see that there is a hallway maybe about 20 feet in length that continues forward. Off to the right-hand side, there is a chair set up with a uniformed individual seems to be sifting through a book, and as you approach down the steps, stands up, sets down the book at attention. Seems to be some sort of guard based on the garb. And you can see there's also a door on the right-hand side that you can see is open, where you can see that there appear to be two other figures in similar uniforms who are kind of sitting at a table. The first guy you kind of give like, maybe these guys aren't super intimidating. However, you look inside and you can see that on the back wall is an arsenal of weapons. Like, these are not batons, these are swords, these are pistols. It seems very clear that these people are not messing around. As you can see that they're sitting around, it seems that two of them just have a cup of coffee and seem to be smoking cigarettes, kind of looking over from the table, looking at you all as you walk past. As Darian leads, I am curious what your opinion is, professionally speaking. I'm sure it is no news to you that we had a bit of an incident to this point a little while back, but I'm curious what you make of it. As you approach, you can see that there is, at the end of this hallway, set into the wall, standing maybe 10 feet across, is just a metal double-bolted door. At the center is a tumbler lock that has been set with a number of glowing kind of arcane like carved ley lines into the actual vault door itself that spread out and wrap around going into the vault. You see that the tumbler rests along with a handle as Darian stands there. The vault just stands off to the side.
I'll go and touch the door.
Touch it. Feels sort of kind of warm.
Well, we might be able to get more of a sense of it. Also being able to see the other side of the door.
Indeed. I'd love to see you try.
This is so above my job description.
Look, you all wanted to come down to see the vault. As per your job description, I'm just curious to see how you would get inside. If you're seasoned professionals, well then, it may or may not be an issue.
I spin the tumbler.
Just gonna make just a check here. Okay. Spins. Nothing happens.
Can I inspect it?
Sure.
I said in my head what needed to happen, and then it happened. I have rolled natural 20. So
You look across the vault door, and it immediately clicks for you. All of these lines are definitely signaling to different security protocols. More than likely, some of these are for the autonochasms. But there are a variety more that you're not fully identifying. However, it seems to be not necessarily a simple tumble lock, but it seems that the tumble lock in of itself seems to have some sort of enchantment on it, but you're not able to get but it doesn't seem to be affecting the actual ability to use it, if that makes any sense. There seems to be a trick to this, but you're not entirely sure what.
So look and go. You've got a mix here of arcana and mechanisms. It's impressive, but naive in a way also. Look, and I trace along the lines. Those are so blatant. Each of those are connected to one of your different protocols, and you think the simplicity hides it, but in fact it just makes it more blatant.
Well, in fairness, those are more for, you could say, not exactly aesthetic. Simply they're put there, both as a warning for us, as much as it is a warning for the people. They don't have your context, they're not going to know what it is. But also, if any of the numerous systems shut down, these lines will deactivate, notifying for us if there's anything wrong that we need to deal with.
So you have three layers here of protection. You've got the mechanism here, you've got the lines, and then it seems you have some further enchantment. Is that a safeguard, or is that just a complete lack of faith in your own design?
You're funny. We have plenty of faith. But we are not ones to, or at least I am not one to spit in the face of ingenuity. If someone figures it out, then someone figures it out.
I'm gonna try and pull the tumbler off the front of the door.
Make a strength check.
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You stick your fingers underneath, use both your feet. You're yanking and yanking. Nothing happens.
Who set this up anyway?
There's a local, there's a locksmith in town. They usually work, of course, in smaller saves, but we decided to give them a chance, and they performed beautifully. We, of course, made some updates, but...
Well, I suppose my question is, this seems very effective against conventional thievery techniques, lock-picking, crowbarring, etc. But what about more arcane means?
If you have the means to try, go ahead.
I'm gonna try casting Knock on this thing.
Okay. Rings out. Nothing seems to happen.
I look at Regina and say, we don't have to get through the door. If we can just bypass the door entirely, can't we? With a bit of teleportation.
But I'm fairly confident that no teleportation would go into the vault itself.
I would be especially careful. Teleportation doesn't operate the usual way here.
You mean just within the confines of this room, or within the confines of the facility itself?
The whole building.
I am going to turn the tumbler slowly, notch by notch, and see if anything happens with the lines.
Sure. Are you just making a full rotation?
I'll do like half. I'll like go maybe like, I don't know, 5 or 10 times.
Ching, 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 ching. Nothing happens.
I'm gonna say book in Elvish.
Darian kind of snorts. Nothing happens.
I'm gonna say it in Aquan too.
Nothing happens.
I am going to try and cast Borrowed Knowledge on myself. You draw on knowledge from spirits of the past. Choose one skill in which you lack proficiency. For the spell's duration, you have proficiency in the chosen skill. And I would like to specifically choose Arcana as the skill. And I would like to try and use this new knowledge to discern more about the door and more about like how it works and how we could potentially open it.
Absolutely. Go for it.
I am going to give myself inspiration on this as well. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. Looking at it, you do notice that the dial, as per the tumbler, is enchanted. It seems to have some sort of protective aura set up on it, which, based on what you've heard of in the past and just kind of like with this other spell that you've cast, like giving you this skill inspiration, as it were, you're getting this nagging feeling that that's why the knock didn't work, is because something on this enchantment. Looking across the lines, definitely the atonicasms in there. You also kind of think back on the atonicasms in themselves. And something you hadn't really considered before, but does make some sense, is that the atonicasm tubes are very similar to the teleporter tubes, where they might be able to be sent anywhere within the facility, or within certain levels that if they were even dropped onto the first level of the basement, they could get here very quickly. The other ones, you are remembering that there is some sort of arcane protection that sliced off the person's finger, which is probably located inside. The last thing that you do notice is that, like, in the actual enchantment for the tumbler, there does seem to be a certain amount of tries you can take before something happens. Currently, there is one use expended.
This is a very interesting design, Darian. Is it of your own making? The modifications, I mean.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Not myself. We had a few years back at this point. We've had a few of the best and brightest of New Vesara University to come and do some tinkering, some enchantment work. We also, as per the situation that happened a little while back, had one of the teachers come in and add some modifications.
Oh, well, we've worked with the New Vesara University ourselves. Which professor was it exactly?
That was... I don't know if you've ever met... it would be Mr. Gress. Have you ever encountered him before?
Can't say I have, no, unfortunately.
You've proven your point here. Our skills are what I not believe to be up to snuff to break into here, but that's because it's not our skill level. We solve problems, we do not create them, and from what you've said and from what we've heard, someone created a fair amount of problems for you in the facility some time back recently. Is that so?
Mm-hmm.
Now, from my understanding, they made their way within the confines of the vault, past your safeguards, and then made their way out. Did they not?
They did indeed.
Now, it's my belief that one would not do so without perhaps achieving some manner of what they wanted to do. So you're out here protecting the passageway from the outside, but had you considered that perhaps something was placed within the confines of the vault itself that may allow them alternative means to re-enter without needing to bypass this door?
Make a persuasion check.
That's gonna be... I'm gonna be 10.
Nods.
I will, can I say, as Lance is saying this, I will say, it's a very good point that he's raising, and give him bardic inspiration.
Roll that inspiration die.
So you can roll a d6 and add that to your roll.
Very nice. I like that very much. That's a D8. That's a D7.
A d7?
Oh, D6 is just a dice. So it's a 13 now. I rolled a 3. So 13 total.
My question is, if you're here to help with the atonocasms, why exactly is it your interest in the vault?
Well, I point up. It's all connected, your facility, is it not? The iconoclasms, the vault, the doors upstairs, the washrooms, it's all connected here. Which is brilliant, but is also your biggest flaw. If our work in the iconoclasm falls apart, then your vault is compromised. If the vault is compromised, the iconoclasms are compromised. It's all one big living facility you have here. That should scare you.
Kind of weighing the option in their head. Well, I suppose it can't hurt too much. Which point Darian goes, spins the dial.
I am watching Darian spin that dial so intently.
Make a perception check.
19.
Regina, you watch as it goes to 59, stops, back to 10, stops, up to 15, stops. With your Arcana check last time, you feel that enchantment pulse before spins to 62, goes back to 43, up to 51, as you feel it pulse again, as you watch as all the lines go dim. Opens it as you see an empty safe vault.
I am gonna throw one of my business cards, like Gambit.
Okay, you chuck a business card. As it passes through the entrance, it vanishes before you immediately are hit with the scent of smoke. Clever.
Is there a sprinkler system down here? What if there's a fire?
Oh, don't worry. Darian waves a hand as the empty bank vault visage drops. as you see a new interior, what look to be 6 different pedestals set up, each with its own object kind of set there. You do notice that there are 3 in the back that are entirely empty. There are carts on either side and what look to be lock boxes on either side of the wall. However, the entire space is filled with these very thin purple beams of energy.
Is Gilly's business card burned or is it lying somewhere?
It seems to be in the center of the room, currently up in flame.
Oh, good. Can I roll a finger check?
Go ahead.
You said perception or investigation?
I'm going to say perception, just because you're not able to currently investigate the full space.
Thank you very much. That's my higher stat, so it's going to be a 17.
Lean against the wall, kind of taking a look inside. As you can see, basically right on like the inside corner, like right underneath the safety deposit boxes, there's like a slight ridge that has a slight like a gap in between the floor, and you can see just the faint glimmer of what looks to be a gold like bit or something right in that corner.
Okay, I want to take my wand down and say, if you'll allow me, I want to do a bit of a, what we like to call it, Verdant, a bit of a magical sweep, if you may allow me the moment.
Make a persuasion check.
It's gonna be a 5.
Darren just nods. Of course.
Shit.
At which point, all of you hear a collective as you look down the hallway, and you can see what look to be 3 racing tall golden forms running down full speed down the hallway. As Darian kind of steps in front of you all, the forms immediately stop as you see 3 autonochasms just standing in the hallway looking down towards the group. Darian waves a hand as they all go into a neutral position and just stand there, no longer aggressive. Darian looks across. That's odd. There's supposed to be 4 of you. Where's the other one?
Tyson, if I enter the vault, does something happen to my person?
Well, to enter, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Alright, that's alright. So that's gonna be an 18.
With surprising grace, you watch as Lance jumps in, lands very gently onto the floor, having dodged the first set of these lasers. I would now like you to make another dexterity saving throw.
That is going to be 24.
24. You immediately begin to feel the tile beneath your feet begin to depress as you jump and are able to kind of like Splinter Cell, like T-hold yourself in the entry of the door, just missing the laser beams. As the tile begins to... You can see Darian is just looking on the inside and is expecting to laugh, but is actually genuinely very impressed.
Okay, am I like in a position where I can move freely, or do I still need a hop, skip, and jump?
Currently, you are like basically holding yourself up by your legs and your hands in the entry of the actual like safe doorway. So you can move your hands freely, relatively speaking. You cannot move without potentially triggering another one of these room traps.
Okay. No, all right, I'm going fully but like I haven't. So all right, so I stepped in, and then bad things happened, and I haven't made my way into the actual confines of the vault yet, have I?
Technically, you're inside the vault. As you're looking across the room, you can see that the floor is tiled, 4 tiles across, up to about 10 tiles down the way. So you stepped on the first row, you stepped on the 3rd tile that began to depress.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go fully Last Crusade on this and just make my way through each of the traps and hope for the best.
With that also being the case, this is just general information just for Adam to have. You may do with this as you wish if you don't think Lance would get involved. You do see what look to be 6 very beautiful, like, very elaborate looking items set up in the center of the room.
You know, I think Lance knows there's a time and place, and we are certainly not in a position. We are not in an offensive position. But hey, you know, we know the numbers for the vault now. If things get a little wacky after, we gotta go fight someone, you know?
Absolutely. Please make a sleight of hand check as you go to pick up the finger.
Meanwhile, I'd like to, while he's doing that, I want to go over to Regina, kind of like at the, like talking to you, like, hey boss, this is fun and all, but don't we have some work to do? And I like tap your clipboard, kind of as low key as a distraction, but also like a very something that my presumed character would do, which is Barb, but is a maintenance worker.
Well, I was going to go up to Darian, and I was going to say, Darian, I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about sort of proprietary law attached to the Atonachasms.
They're currently listening to you, but their eyes are just amazed. Like it's like watching a circus act at Lance.
Simply put, I have some serious concerns about the legality of you modifying proprietary Verdant Industries technology in the form of Atonachasms and linking it to third-party technology such as the Vault defenses. Now, I don't want to go around pointing fingers or anything, but it does risk a rather voiding of your warranty and even potential legal action, if it were so reported to my superiors.
Make a persuasion check.
19.
19. They turn towards you, at which point, Lance, you would now have advantage. As they look down towards you, Regina. You quite are the businesswoman, aren't you?
I simply wish for all parties involved to come to the most amicable agreement as possible.
So, what are your terms?
Simply put, certain contracts, exclusive contracts, with Verdant Industries to take another look at the Vault defenses, put our own little twist on it, for a significant consultancy fee, of course, just so that this connection between them and the Atonachasms, doesn't lead us into any troubled legal waters.
They bend down, well, sort of bend down, but kind of lean down closer.
I hover up to meet them.
That sounds deeply like you have other plans. Is it really Verdant Industries that you work for? Or do you have other plans in mind?
The only plans I have in mind are a big fat bonus check from Verdant Industries at the end of the year, when I get them an exclusive contract with what appears to be the most heavily guarded facility in entirety of New Vesara.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm rocking at 18 on my sleight of hand, by the way.
18 also for persuasion.
For you, Lance, you see the opportunity. Just bend at the waist, grab the finger, do the other side, just for safety.
Very good. I also want to, while it's in my pocket, I want to take the ring off the finger and put them in 2 separate spots.
Sure. As Darian stares at you, Regina, who am I to get in the way of someone's paycheck? Before they reach back, begin to close the door slightly, spin the dial, as the little beams of arcane energy vanish, and has seemingly shut off the security functions in the vault.
I'm there teetering on 1 foot, and suddenly everything goes okay.
I'm glad that you are an individual of great wisdom, as well as scientific acumen.
Okay, fine. I'll go look at the cool items, but I won't touch anything. I won't touch. I'll meander by and see what they are.
What you see you see a beautifully carved, what looks like an egg, with a number of gems and fine metals wrapped around it in these beautiful, what almost look to be like sprouting flowers on the sides. That's the first. The second, you see what looks to be maybe about 1.5 feet tall, what looks to be a bronze casted or crafted, if so, very impressive, bronze one-handed warhammer that you can see with a number of arcane glyphs that run across the sides. It seems like it's seen quite a bit of use, but aside from that, not much you can tell about it. Off to one side, you can see what looks like a small, basically it looks like a teardrop sapphire that is just resting on a small, like almost like a mini pedestal on top of this block pedestal, that as you kind of approach it, you're noticing it's vibrating, shaking very subtly. On the other side, you can see what looks to be a carving of a frog. Seems to have 8 legs and a massive tongue that splits down the middle, that is currently like rising up. Another thing that you see would be what looks to be like a fine rapier that's just floating, seemingly no source, just floating off the ground. Very elegant in design. Finally, you can see on the final table what looks to be this crown. Seemingly, it's a very weird in structure, where it seems to have been made of like weaved silver. However, at the tips of it, the silver dies away and seems to go into like a wood, or like a carved wood at the tips.
Will my history of just general items and arcana and knowledge of the world give me any indication of what these things are?
That's fair. Make a history check.
It's gonna be a 15.
15. The frog statue that you see, you do remember stories of... These are slightly different than what they actually look like in real life, but you have heard stories of froghemoths, which are large frog monstrosities that exist in very distant swamps, and are known to be a pest to local, like, smaller villages and such. The rest of them are a little bit beyond you, as of the moment. For Gilly, I would like you to make a perception check.
What is haunting me, Tyson Fraleigh? This is the second or third time. 11, which is also my passive perception as it happens.
Okay. That's fair. You notice something. You feel your sheath that you have the javelins in. You feel it vibrating.
What the fuck? I'm gonna walk in there.
You step inside. As Regina and Darian are talking, Lance, you notice a flash as you see a blue streak of light pass, dash past Gilly. As Gilly, you just see a from one of the tables, this small sapphire shoot around you and impact you in the back.
I make panicked eye contact with Lance.
I walk out and I go, all right, all clean in here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just, the sweep has come back positive or negative, whatever direction you want it to be.
So, that it?
I would recommend perhaps adding some safeguards that add some disconnection between some of your proprietary technology here, but otherwise things seem to be in order. We'll make a pass to look for your missing iconoclast on our way back upstairs, but in terms of the vault, whatever you have here is your business and yours alone.
Gonna make a perception check.
God damn it. 11 for my perception check.
Darian sweeps their eyes over the room. All right. Goes towards the door and just begins to...
I give Gilly, what you can only assume is a death glare.
I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. I have like an ornately jeweled shitty sheath that I keep my harpoons in, and it just stuck itself on there.
But not the sword that it's probably for.
Well, actually, Barb, you look at it. There's not a trident in there anymore. You just see a sword hilt sticking out the back.
Oh my god! Alright, act cool. Act cool. Nothing is weird. Everything's fine. We're going on our lunch break.
I think it's about time for lunch.
I agree.
Who doesn't love lunch?
Thank you greatly, Darian. It's been really good to speak with you. Some representatives from Verdant will be in contact with you shortly. Have a great day.
Indeed. A pleasure to you all. Turn. You guys are heading up the stairs?
Yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
No, as calmly as possible.
I by the way, the entire time I'm standing behind Gilly. What the bloody hell did he say to them?
Can we not talk about that right now?
We'll be talking about it later then. And this one, all of you, let's go. I'm just behind everyone. I'm like a father trying to corral the kids. Let's go.
Lance, shut up until we get out the door and out of sight.
Which point, you head up the stairs, turn off, head up the stairs again, travel down the main room, before suddenly, nothing happens as you continue past the foyer and out through the front doors. As that is where we're going to leave it off for tonight.
You fucking bitch, Tyson.
What the hell did you do to me?
I will say, I think this may have been the most successful D&D heist in history.
I didn't do anything
Tack and Adam, I didn't do anything either. It was
except become a mule
yeah.
for a vibrating jewel. So,
Well, with that being the case, is there anything that people would like to plug?
I'd like to plug mysteries. Because who doesn't love a mystery, huh, Tyson?
I'd love to plug October Jones and Fish with Legs, an all-ages coming-of-age fantasy adventure podcast, which has recently started its second season. The second season will be well underway by the time this episode releases. Hell, the second season might be finished by the time this episode comes out. I don't know. But it is a wonderful, family-friendly adventure podcast about a cynical human teenager and an exuberant magical fish with legs who travel across a mystic landscape trying to stop a giant monster from returning into their dimension. There are laughs and thrills and chills and tears and everything good that you can find in podcasts. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser, Kids Listen, on Apollo, and everywhere else where excellent podcasts may be found.
I'll try and plug something real. By the time we record next, this will be out already, so I'll do it now. I worked on a Netflix show called The Recruit that's releasing December 16th on Netflix. I spent a lot of time working on this. It's a pretty slick show. Starring Noah Centineo and Laura Haddock, who I worked specifically for. I was her assistant for it. And first two episodes are directed by Doug Liman, who did Born Identity and Edge of Tomorrow, and it's pretty slick. And I thought the trailer looked really cool, and I want to recommend it. Because I think it just looks. My work doesn't matter on it, but if you watch it and they make another season, then I will continue to get paid work. So do that. That would be really cool.
I would like to plug the concept of air ventilation when you are working with machine tools that create dust in the air. It's an important part of the safety of any lab that users of machinery can breathe. Also, check your air filters. If you don't have good ventilation in your shop, you can open a window and wear a mask for particulates. None of these things are things that I've done, and I regret that.
Did you have anything to plug, Tyson?
Only 3 Kings Loot and thebagofloot.com for all your board game needs and board game news.
Indeed. And if you like this series, then make sure to check out our previous other 2 series, Montreal by Night and Those Damn Kids. With all that out of the way, thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time.